Now I've changed my gooseneck arm. She's quite stiff. This clamp was just shot to bits. This thing was anyway. But like a ninja, I did it on stream. All right, welcome to TrueHouse, episode 397 with me, Justin House. The date is Thursday, the 5th of August, 2021. This is my third attempt at this stream. Last night I failed to upload it. Extreme thanks and gratitude to anyone on Instagram who has... I might start again on Instagram, you know. Let's do that. Discard. It wouldn't hurt, right? If I just start again, can I do that? I'm gonna give it a go. God, the cheesy smile. Okay, I'm back. It's me, Justin House. This is TrueHouse stream, episode 397. So only 3 away from 400, guys. Okay, look, confession. I streamed last night and I'm gonna lie to you, it went to rat shit. No, it did. Well, it didn't. Yeah. I didn't upload it. Okay, I didn't upload it. And I think it was actually also, it was for the best. Probably subconsciously, I didn't like it anyway. And I suppose the one good aspect of being, frankly, I'm just going to come out and say it, a bit of a loser and a nobody. And also a guy whose channel is infinitesimally small, or just infinitesimal. Not big, right? The thing is, if the responsibility was greater, if the weight of responsibility was what was that noise? If I had a gazillion followers and sponsors, a little squeak, then a little, you know, whatever, contractual obligation, I don't know, I'm just guessing. But can you imagine someone Marquez, like MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee, you know, what's he got? In fact, let's find out. Hey Google, how many followers has MKBHD got?
Here's a summary from the website Forbes.com. His channel has over 13 million subscribers. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
Hey Google, how many followers does Joe Rogan have?
Here's a summary from the website Forbes.com. Rogan has 9.4 million followers on Instagram, 2.4 million likes on his Facebook fan page, and 6 million followers on Twitter.
Okay. It then goes on to say, so he's definitely a cultural force. Let's have a laugh. I'm just going to do some self-piss taking. Hey Google, have you heard of TrueHouse stream?
I'm not sure, sorry.
No need to apologise. Hey Google, who is Justin House?
Justin's House is a television show that first aired in 2011 and stars Justin Fletcher, Stephen Kinman, and Catherine Smee.
Right be under. Shit, I've not done this. What was I associated? Okay. Hey Google, who is Justin House bodybuilder?
Showing pictures that match.
Okay, that's me. Oh, okay. All right, well, fine. Oh, I'm dead as well. Wow. Okay, well, um, okay, I'm there. Crazy. Didn't know that. Didn't. Why was I squinting? Oh, I'll show you what I was looking at. Hold on. These are some other Justins, but it's me on dialysis, modelling, stage, dialysis. So yeah, it's got whatever. Okay, it's embarrassing. Bodybuilder who had tumour burst out of his spine. Daily Mail. Okay, hyperbolic much. What's my point? Okay, let's get back to the look. This is the topic for tonight. I've called it mental health, and I've spelt meant as in I meant to, MEANT, in caps. Okay, so I'm being a bit of a dick, but why do I want to discuss mental health? I streamed last night about mental health, and well, the fact that it's not out there is no. Sorry guys, got fidget arse. No bad thing. I'll do the caveat. All right, yeah, I know. I'll do the caveat. The caveat is this is just my. Sorry, it's just a message. This is just my subjective opinion. I'm not interested in. Well, of course I'm interested in, but I'm not. This is not me speaking because I want to and need to be quote unquote right. I'm simply based on observations, based on me as literally just a normal person scrolling online, just as all of us do. Okay, I am in no better or greater or bigger position of knowledge or authority or qualification or anything to take a view of like, well, I'm super qualified to speak on this subject because I've spent 25 years in the field of no. My only direct experience with what I would call, and let me be very clear, my only direct experience of what our medical association, certainly our National Health Service here in Old Blighty in the UK would deem, would consider to be real mental health. I went through a very odd and very frightening episode not too many months after my kidney transplant. I was living in Croydon, and it was I'll make it brief. I was, for medical reasons, in terms of I would imagine the composition of the drugs I was on, frankly, the prescription drugs that I was given post kidney transplant, whatever was happening with my body physiologically speaking, and whether it's just an upset mental state or I was also using prescription analgesics, so specifically oxycodone, OxyContin and oxynorm. So under the heading of oxycodone, you've got I'm just there were two types I was on. Yes, sorry, I had a mental block there. It's been a while. OxyContin. OxyContin. But so, like I say, the just a brief little key, if you will. Under the broad stroke banner, the heading of oxycodone, you have OxyContin, and the name Contin is obviously an abbreviation for continuous. OxyContin, continuous. That's really your layer cake, if you will. It's your foundation. That's just your long time release, slow release. And oxynorm, normal release. It's a quicker thing to be. You punctuate your day for acute pain. So basically, the leaning or the thinking and the engineering is give people OxyContin for continuous use. That's your background drug, painkiller. Very strong, very addictive, of course. And your second, your the right-hand man, the Robin to the Batman there, is obviously Oxynorm capsules for episodes of acute pain. So long-term, short-term coverage, and also a drug called gabapentin. One word, gabapentin. It combats nerve pain. So suffice to say, I was on, and also a whole heap of other drugs. I will forever be on the other drugs that were given to me. I'm still on them now, just not, thankfully, thank God. The devil that is oxy, it's just addiction, awful addiction. Now, whatever happened to me psychologically, this would have been 2014. Sorry, I'm trying to do the math. June 19th, 2013 was the transplant. Yeah, sorry, I'm literally like eyes wide shut, zoning, finding with the old storyboard guys, you know, me and my beloved mental storyboards. Okay, so the reason I'm giving this little, well, hardly little, is it, Justin? You're convoluted. It might go some way to explaining my personal brush with real mental health. There's a famous, there's been documentaries on the Bethlehem, I'm sure it's the Bethlehem Hospital. Hey Google, where is Bethlehem Hospital, Beckenham?
The address for Bethlehem Royal Hospital is Monk's Orchard Road, Beckenham BR 33BX.
Right, so I was taken there, okay. There's been documentaries on this nuts house. This is Monk's Orchard Road. I was living in Croydon, south East London, and I went through a very, 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 very sticky period of literally wanted to die. And anyway, I knew I was so far out to sea, really, really, lost. God, it's just, I've done a really good job over the last 8 years of taking this from my mind and, a big old eraser. So, look, I'm going to mention it because I was taken there, and I don't want to use the word sectioned, but it's what they did. They did do that, and it was look, to say it was horrible, to say it was frightening, to say I was praying to die, to say none of these things are an embellishment or an exaggeration or just, yeah, like I say, no artistic licensing, embellishing, bullshitting, exaggeration, shit talk from me. Truly frightening, trying to rid my body of the two types of oxycodone. The two types of oxycodone are OxyContin for chronic, time release, police, time release. Right, so look, I'm getting tired already because I've been streaming but it crashed and I had to go again, and then some issues here on the camera, see? God damn it. Stay, little bitch. Biatch. Better? Better. It's water, not water. Right, so, and look, I had a friend here, a dear friend down here in Dorset, in Bournemouth. I'm just going to say his first name. His first name was actually my middle name. His first name was Stuart. S-T-U, spelt the same as mine, S-T-U. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Lovely to see you. Nice to see you. Hello. Good to see you. Do I say that? Actually, let me look up how to say your name. Because I've DS Balls. How do I pronounce your? Oh, I got a picture of a. Oh my gosh, dude. Well, look, you. Oh, I'll follow you back. Yeah, my God, how rude of me. I've just followed you back. Sorry, I hadn't followed you. How bloody rude of me. Your dogs are awesome. Holy shit. Dude, look, if look, you're friends of Dougie, so I must know you from the gym. Yeah, followed by Dougie and Metroflex, so I must have met you in the gym. Well, I hope. Look, if I'm. Oh, look at these dogs. Oh, dude, whoever I'm talking to has a passion, a penchant for beautiful little dogs. Anyway, welcome, and I'm looking at your these dogs are amazing. Are they pugs? Are they bulldogs? Are they? Well, I guess they're bull. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I don't know anything. I used to have a dog, and she died. She died in February. Last February. She died last February. My little Loopy. I don't know if I can show you a picture of my. God, it sounds terrible. Let me show you a picture of my dead dog. But no, she was. Oh, my photos are updating. A little a hybrid. Loopy was a oh God, bloody camera. Sorry, I just had to set up on these new gooseneck arms. Right, stay, you little bitch. So I just had to during the stream. I took one of these off, these gooseneck things, and this is, well, it's actually now doing what it should do, but I replaced that. Just had to do the whatever. So I keep spares. Loopy was God, like a terrier. She was a little thing, and how can I show you? No, I can't even get into my Google Photos because it's updating the app. Look, but I adored her, and she died, and yeah. Anyway, so look, mental health. Okay, this is weird how this has turned out because last night's upload failure, tonight that camera went, and then of course the Twitch thing. Twitch, I'm gonna have a go at you because the screenshotting my own password and screenshotting my own name from my Twitch account and being denied. I'm like, phew. So I shall, whatever. But Instagram's working. Like I say, my only personal brush with mental health, and that's why I've purposely spelt it tonight, capital MEANT, because I am genuinely concerned about the length and breadth of the issue and the fact that it appears to be a trendy thing. It appears to be, allegedly. I don't recall a time in society, you know, in real life, in media, where stating externally to the outer world, you know, like, you know, on your profile, I've got Asperger's, I'm autistic, I'm not I'm not for fudge's sake, I'm trying not to swear, I'm not attacking people with real mental health issues, because, like I say, when I was in Croydon after my kidney transplant and coming off particular medications, specifically the oxycodone, so of course the OxyContin, Oxynorm, with gabapentin, and benzodiazepine. So, you know, we're talking diazepam, nitrazepam, Valium, so same thing. So I remember living just around the corner from Mayday Hospital in Croydon, and I lived in a place just Doug lived opposite the graveyard. The graveyard separated, ironic, the graveyard separated Doug and I from his street and where I lived. And I went through a terrible period. It probably was about 6 months after the transplant, somewhere between. Because the reason I'm giving a chronological timeline here and saying, you know, again, look, I'm not qualified in mental health. I don't have, you know, I haven't been to, you know, I'm not sitting here as a qualified doctor, am I, in a white coat saying, yes, I've got, you know, decades of experience in clinics treating mentally unwell people. All I'm saying is there seems to be, whether it's attention seeking or clout seeking or the social validation, social validity, look at me, you know, I've got this, I've got that. And when I was researching this, researching is a bit strong, isn't it? I literally did a little bit of scrolling this afternoon. There are a lot of young people, and when I say young people, people basically 20 years younger than me, you know, so people, I mean, I'm 49, so people kind of 25 and under, you know, streamers on here, you know, Twitch, Insta, YouTube, wherever, excuse me, and on their, I mean, let's take a high profile one, let's take Greta Thunberg. Apparently it's a two, not a thu, but, you know, some people might say Greta Thunberg, but Greta, how dare you, that young girl, the whole climate thing, right? To be so public, say, oh, she's Aspie, she's on the spectrum, she's this, she's that, and the selling, what's being peddled, what's being sold, and it's what's being marketed is, oh, you're brave and you're bold and you're beautiful and you're stunning. So if you come out these days and say, and again, I'm not, for Christ's sake, what I'm not saying is I want to foot stomp this and suppress this and to be introverted and to go back to, you know, 80 years ago where people were too afraid to say, hey, I'm gay, or I dress up at weekends, or I've got mental thoughts, or whatever. So I understand that modern society is very encouraging to people that want to speak out. I'm trying to make a clear distinction between encouraging people to speak out and basically making it cool for all and sundry to stick all over their bio on their social media profiles, whether you're TikToking and Twitter and YouTube and Insta and Facebook and whatever profile, whatever social media app you're using, that, you know, look what I said earlier, and the stream cut out, so I will repeat it. I'm registered disabled. Okay, I have I was last assessed disability living allowance to the personal independence payment. This would have been October last year during the COVID, and they contacted me here on my mobile and said, right, we're going to not do a home visit this year, Justin. We will do a 3-hour, 18-minute. It really was. They said it would be a minimum 2.5 to 3 hours, but a very, to be fair, I got to be fair, a very, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It was a serious conversation. Fucking hell, it was a serious conversation. A very thorough, let's just say that, a very, very thorough woman called me. Let's just say she was the pro, right? And I sat in the kitchen for 3 hours, 18 minutes, and you send in a 48-page document. You're given a document, it's 24 pages, but obviously both sides, so 48 pages. And, you know, I know people rely on these forms. People say, oh yeah, my back's broken, and you come unstuck when you've got to do things like provide a medical evidence, which means surgeon, doctor, photos, MRI, proven prescriptions. You know, so you actually, I'm very surprised these days how people can pull it off, because I gave pharmacy contact, London pharmacy guys and local pharmacy, and, you know, controlled drugs that I might have to take. My GP, my London and Oxford doctors, obviously the spine tumour in Oxford and the London lot for the kidney transplant. Anyway, the point is I gave a smorgasbord, you know, a plethora of evidence to correlate with what I'd written down. And then the third part of this is this 3-hour, 18-minute, frankly, interrogation on, Justin, how easy is it when you go to wipe your bum and get off the loo? And I mean, they really go for it. You know, how often have you thought about taking your life, etc., etc. How much pain you in? You know, what they go deep. Long story short, within 8 weeks of this, I was then awarded. It's not the right word, is it? I was. The decision was made. Well, I suppose it is. They use the word "you've been awarded," and to my mind, it's a bit weird, because when I think of being awarded, I'm like, oh, I was awarded an Oscar or a trophy or a bodybuilding medals for winning a show, whatever, you know. But she said, my decision is to give you the highest rate of physical disability. And long story short, the silver lining, because there isn't one, I haven't even sent off for my blue badge. That's how freaking proud I am. That's how stupid I am. You know, I've even had friends and family members say, why aren't you to qualify for a blue badge, mate, you need your highest rate of disability and you're not doing it. Why aren't you taking what you're entitled to? You could park your car in easier places. I'm like, no, I'm too proud. I'm too proud. It's got a picture of a wheelchair, man. It's got a picture of a wheelchair. And I'm not in a wheelchair, am I? I'm not in a wheelchair. So anyway, maybe I should get the blue badge. But the point is, they've determined that I don't put a picture of a wheelchair or disabled into my profile. That's my point. I don't say, hey, I was Humpty Dumpty, I was this decent English bodybuilder, and I had this 27-year career in the industry, teaching and training, and I taught for 27 years, for God's sake. And well, more than 27 years, 1990 till 2017, yeah, 27 years. What I'm including in my teaching is my first 2 years, which, to be fair, was studying, but I was working as a leisure attendant, and a leisure attendant meant doing everything from pool testing, chlorine, pH, to cleaning out. Obviously, throughout your teaching career, no one's too good to not clean. It's like me hoovering underneath treadmills at 10:30 to have rent-free teaching privileges. Damn right, I'll do that. I wasn't, even when I was director of personal training, for Fitness First, I shouldn't say that, for Fitness First, and being the first PT from inception in '93 onwards. My point is, I had a good teaching training career. I was one of the first in the UK to have my YMCA and American College of Sports Medicine, and I was studying for. But look, what's your point, Just? What's your point? Yeah, whatever I was then versus now, it's there's a big gap or whatever. But I don't put on my what am I on? I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. Just joined Twitch. I don't put Justin House, dickhead, bodybuilder, retired now. I did in the beginning. I thought, well, you tell me you're an ex-bodybuilder. Tell people, I don't know. And then I thought that's too wordy, so I stopped that. So I try to reduce it, but I don't shout out about physical or mental impairments. I don't, personally. But what's happening online is there appears to be an ever-increasing trend towards people, my nose is always running, people saying extremely publicly, I have problems, I'm mentally unwell, I'm physically unwell, almost boasting, all right, almost glorifying it. Now, again, I'm not saying it's wrong to say to the outside world, hey, I'm not perfect, but it's become a freaking badge of honour. It's become a thing. Here's my point. When I was in my 20s, and 30s, right, I was far too interested in having a good time, being well, being healthy, being strong, bouncing around, dating, going out, frankly having a good time, right? Having a good time. I was too concerned with that, and earning money, and working hard and playing hard and living a full, colourful life. I was too interested in that from, when did I start to get ill? I'm 49 now, 35, so yeah, the last 14 years I've been unwell. So yeah, that's right, I was 35. So I went from an 18, 19-year-old, well, let's call it 20 then, from just in 20 through, getting off skateboarding to 35, I had a good time. Right? I had a good run. And you wouldn't have caught me ever going, oh, I'm not well, right? Whereas now, you've got kids between 18 and 30 going crazy, they're on, and look, I love these things, I love them, right? But they're just, I've got this problem, I'm on this medication, and I was looking today at the diagnostic statistical medical journals, which you can buy on eBay and Amazon for 100 to 120 quid, these thick medical journals that a doctor would have on their desk to diagnose proper head problems, and these kids are diagnosing themselves and then putting it in their profile because it's a thing, because it gives you sympathy, it creates empathy, sympathy, an outpouring of, it's attention seeking. It's almost flexing. It's like, yeah, I'm on the spectrum. And I'm thinking, holy shit, what is wrong with people? And this is why I mentioned like Bethlehem in Beckenham near Croydon, the the very well known mental facility there, where when I was coming off gabapentin, Valium, oxycodone, I had a very very bad time, not going to lie, very bad time, and I went wonky. I went really wonky. Yeah, and I remember being taken by an ambulance at the behest of my GP on London Road in Croydon. He was legitimately concerned for my safety. Not the safety, it's not like I was out on the rampage going to hurt people, but he was concerned for my safety. And they took me there, and yeah, it was bad, right? And I saw people there that were very unwell. And then my only other, there's a reason why I'm mentioning this, because in my own personal lifetime, discounting my own whatever, my own spell, I saw people genuinely unwell. And here's the difference. We're seeing people on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and God knows what else who are claiming to be mentally unwell, right? The people I saw in Bethlehem, in Monk's Orchard Road, it's the well-known one, Maudsley, is it Maudsley? Maudsley, oh God, what's they call it now? Anyway, the clinic there, and what we have here in Dorset, a place called St Anne's, and when my friend Stuart died, right? He took 130 imipramine and topped himself and wrote me 2 suicide notes. I didn't take the first one seriously. I should have taken the second one seriously. I was godfather to his 2 children, Nathan and Ollie, and his other half, Shirley. The point I'm making is he topped himself with a bottle of JD and 130 imipramine. I think they were a strong antipsychotic. And I visited Stuart in St Anne's about a week before they released him. And there were people, you know, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, that iconic film with Jack Nicholson, right? Brilliant film. I saw people in the corridors, you know, wiping themselves with their own excrement, right? I'm very serious. No, why would I make that up? Why would I make that up? That's not a film trope, but I saw that, and you know, exposing themselves and insisting that they were Christ. I ran into one fella, I'll never forget, and I was only, what would I have been, 20, 21? Yeah, I was at the beginning of my career. Yeah, because I was still skateboarding, motorbikes, bodybuilding, door work. Yeah, I was about 20, 21. Yeah, this was about 92, 93. And this bloke, he actually looked a bit like Jesus, but he insisted, and I found him quite frightening. And the orderlies took him away, very much like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And that's mental health. That's, you know, this guy was telling me that he was the Lord. He was telling me, and I was just sat in a corridor waiting, frankly, for the orderlies to take Stuart, because Stuart was being restrained. That's mentally unwell. So my friend Stuart being tied down, and this bloke thinking he was Jesus, and the other bloke covered and tasting his own poo, just saying what I saw, those experiences, and then my own little brush in when I wasn't sectioned. I'm not going to use that language. It's and I think that's reaching. But I was picked up. Okay, I was taken away. It sounds dramatic, but they were worried about my stability, because I was very frightened, very unwell, and coming off 3 types of medication. That to come off all at once is asking a bit much. You know, an opioid like oxycodone, and I was being prescribed OxyContin and Oxynorm. So OxyContin, continued time release, and Oxynorm, acute, you know, for acute pain. So you supersetting those 2, and of course, you know, benzodiazepines like Valium diazepam, with the nerve combating drug gabapentin. And if you even go on Google and look at the side effects of any of those drugs, you're like, oh lordy, just the addiction is horrendous, and wanting to die and believing I was going to die, and that's why I'm talking about it on the stream tonight, because now a bloke like me, and again, I'm not sitting here lauding it up, saying, "Oh, woe be me, Justin House, I've been through so much shit." Everyone's got a cross to bear. Everyone's got their own shit. I'm not, and also I'm not belittling people with real mental health. But what I am saying, based on observations, is, aren't we seeing this preponderance, a high incident, a high rate of people online these days who are doing what I'm doing right now, who are streaming, and I'm not well, and I this and I that, and I'm thinking, really, are you really unwell? And I know about body dysmorphia, and even when I was at my peak as a bodybuilder, when it was really big shredded Justin, between, when was my reign? What I mean, that's a very arrogant thing to say. What I mean is, when was I really, kicking ass, in terms of my physique, or when I had a physique, between 98 and 2006 or 7. So I was modelling in the 90s, but the point is, in terms of how I looked, like, 6'5" guy with muscle, that Justin was, and I sound like a right cock saying that, but I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of what I did. But that version of me, 10, 12 years, however long it lasted for, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just, I'm struggling to say it. I'm struggling to find the right language, and normally I don't, but I just, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, I lost it then a minute. That's what I wanted to mention. I thought, why did you say all that preamble about your bodybuilding, Justin, and then not really deliver any point? The point I was going to make was, when I was that Justin, the big Justin, I remember looking in the mirror. Now this is body dysmorphia. Looking at myself and going, "You're shit, mate. You're shit. You've got no shoulders. You've got no legs. You've got, the body parts I was known for. The body parts where people said, have you seen it was like, have you seen Justin's shoulders? Have you seen his delts? They're stupid. And he's tall at 6'5", he's got some freaking legs on him, so any feedback that came back to me, or murmurings in the gym that I might hear people say, have you seen Justin House's legs? Fucking hell, he's got legs and delts and it's crazy. The body parts that stuck out, I was never very thick, never very deep. I'm not making excuses, but it's pretty hard at 6'5" to get that crazy Dorian depth, front to back, and that hanging hamstring. I digress. I was laterally very wide, here in the delts, and the legs thigh sweep. But I remember looking at myself thinking, you skinny fucker, you got no nothing. Your arms are that's body dysmorphia. That's body dysmorphia. That's being deluded, because now I look at my photographs of the physique I lived in, the physique I inhabited between, let's be fair, mid-90s to, because I was doing some really good modelling jobs in 95, 94, 96, whatever. Breathe, Justin. And when it came crashing down in 07, so, because the one almost lost that leg. That, I look at those photos now and go, wow, dude, you had something going on there. And that was, because now, of course, the climate, the physique climate, the the landscape, that's what I'm looking for, the landscape, the culture, the across the board landscape of physiques. You know, when you do get your phone and you scroll through Instagram and you look at the physiques that are now top tier, putting aside professional bodybuilding but looking at Insta physiques, those physiques actually, to my eyes, are fucking average. I mean, because again, because of the era, and I'm showing my age now, but because of the 80s, 90s era, you know, I really began proper in 1990, 91. You know, the Dorian Ray, the end of Lee Haney going and segueing into Dorian. And I still speak to Dorian now, and spoke to him a day or two ago. I was comparing, yesterday actually, I was texting Dorian because there's a lovely interview. If anyone, by the way, just got to say it, anyone that knows who Hicks and Gracie is, obviously the Gracie brothers, Gracie, BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you know, Horan and Hickson and Hoist, spelt the R, said the H. You got a wonderful 3 hour, 40-minute session with Jocko Willink, his podcast with Echo Charles. You got Jocko talking to Hicks and Gracie, and that was yesterday. So I immediately sent a link to Dorian because it's Brazil, and I back in the day remember ordering Choke online VHS, mail order only. You know, just watching it. You know, watching the breathing, I can't do it there, but the vacuum breathing of Hicks and Gracie, you know, training in Japan and Vale Tudo, and it's glory days, it's fucking brilliant. But to see an interview with Jocko talking to, obviously, the very pioneers, you know, of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,